Hey everybody, it's Beth. Welcome to Infinite Garden. Today I'm going to be responding to a viewer request. MB asked if I could talk a little bit about the quality of gray hair, and I've had some time to think about it, and I think I have 5 key ways that my gray hair is different from my dyed hair. It's been so long since I've had my natural undyed hair that I can't really compare it back to that, but I can compare it to what my hair was like when I dyed it compared to now that it's natural in its gray state. If that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned. First, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed or has been subscribed for a long time. It's so wonderful to have you here. I love your comments. I love your support. It keeps me going. So I just wanted to say thank you and welcome to anybody who's recently subscribed. I'm really happy to have you. MB asked how my hair is different, and I've got 5 key ways that it is different. While I'm doing this, I'm going to share some pictures that I've taken recently to pictures I took kind of toward the end of my dyeing journey. I stopped dyeing my hair in January 2020. So I've got some photos from 2018 and 2019 so you can see the condition of my hair before I finally decided to stop. The first thing that's I think most readily apparent is that my hair is much, much shinier. And this is really for 2 main reasons. One, I think dyeing your hair can be dulling. Even if you're using high quality dye, I think that in my case, even if we would apply glosses or we use transparent dyes in some cases to heighten the luminosity of the strands, it still provided a dulling effect, partly because dye is damaging. So my natural hair is much, much healthier, so it's shinier for that reason. And gray hair is lacking in pigment, so it allows the light to shine through it. So you actually have a more luminous hair strand, which makes it seem like you have light around you. So my hair is, in terms of just like wattage, much, much shinier now than it was before. And I feel like that shiny hair always looks really good. So I think that's an improvement for sure. Dye is also damaging. So one of the key differences is that the quality of my new hair that's grown in that is undyed is much stronger and less brittle than what I have at the end. You can see I still have some blonde dye at the end, and I've been taking good care of this. I'm going to cut it off before the end of the year, but there's more breakage. I can feel it as I run my fingers along my hair as I move into the parts where it's dyed. I can feel it become drier and more hay-like, whereas up here I can feel that it's much smoother and it feels better in my fingertips, and then down here it just feels a little drier and more damaged. Dye is damaging, and when you stop dyeing your hair, you're really reducing how much damage you're doing to it. A lot of people experience gray hair as being more coarse and textured. This one's hard for me to speak to. If you've watched some of my other videos, my hair is very coarse and it's naturally wavy curly, and I have coarse hair no matter what. So I don't really notice a huge difference between my gray hair and my dark hair in terms of coarseness, but a lot of people do. So I'm just going to throw that one out there, that a lot of folks maybe who have naturally straighter hair or very, very loose, smooth waves, they might notice their gray hair is more coarse than their previous hair. The most surprising difference in my hair since I've stopped dyeing it is how much more I have of it. If you're looking at my hair right now against this black sign against the wall, you can see I've got these little baby hairs sticking out. These are all new growth, and it's indicative of what I'm talking about. Once I stopped putting dye on my scalp every 4 weeks, it took about a year. I didn't notice it right away, but after about 1 year of ditching the dye, I noticed my hair is covered in these short baby hairs. As my hair starts to grow back, I'll include a video I took yesterday while I was blowing out my hair where you can really see it. This is true throughout. You're just able to see these guys right up here, but it's true all throughout my hair. And my hair stylist confirmed that. He knows what my hair is like, and he knows that there's just more hair now that I've stopped dyeing. And I've mentioned this in a couple of my other videos, and I've gotten a lot of responses from people saying that they've had the same experience. I've been doing a little research into why that is, and I'm not a dermatologist and I'm not an expert on hair science, but I have been reading that some of the chemicals in hair dye can cause hair that's no longer growing. You know, sometimes our hair has different phases, and in the 3rd phase of the hair growth, it stops growing actively, but it remains attached to your scalp, what I've been reading is that hair dye can cause those hairs in that stage to detach more readily, so you have fewer hair strands on your head. And I think that may be the reason why I'm experiencing this, but I'm seeing tons of brand new growth. So maybe it's follicles that are waking up again and are able to proceed without caution because I'm no longer assaulting them with chemicals. But I've got way more hair, and I'm really curious to see how this plays out over the years because this still has a long ways to go to grow. I try to tame this the best I can, but because my hair is so coarse, these do tend to stand up on end, and it takes a lot of product to hold them down. So I'm kind of just living with them, grateful to see these new little hairs coming in, happy that my hair is still growing. And finally, one major difference in terms of overall experience with gray hair, in my case, is that I have so much more dimension because I've got these, colorless white strands, and then I've got some dark strands, which for a long time I wasn't maintaining my dark hair. I had migrated over to being a bottle blonde because it was easier to keep up because of the amount of gray hair that I have. Blonde was an easier maintenance choice. And so you can see in some of these photos that I'm sharing, although we did highlights and lowlights, and I had really super talented colorists who helped me, achieve a nice natural effect as best as we could. I was trying to be something I wasn't. I still am really pleased with the greater level of dimension. So if you look at my hair now, you can see I've got darker darks and brighter brights than I had when I was dyeing it blonde, and I find it looks really good. And as I play around with it and try different styles, put it up, in buns or halfway up, you can see some streaking more, and I think that dimension looks fantastic. It wasn't something I would have put in my hair artificially, but now that it's coming in naturally and I can kind of see how flattering it is, I'm really enjoying that, and I'm finding my hair just looks way more interesting. I don't know if you guys have had that experience too. So there you have it. Those are my 5 main ways that my gray hair is different in quality from the hair I had when I used to dye it. Leave a comment down below. I read every single one of them. I love your support. I love the energy behind this community. It really is just a wonderful community. I'm going to be making some more of these shorts videos. It's kind of good discipline for me to see if I can make a video in under a minute since I can be sort of chatty. So check those out. I'll be putting some more of those out. I've got a pretty deep lipstick collection, so I think I'm just going to start going through some of them and showing the colors that I have. So if that's interesting to you, let me know. If you want to see anything else, be sure to let me know. Anyway, again, I hope you guys have a great week. Talk soon.